When I came across this statement on X, I immediately said that this is one of the most weakest statements that an organization can ever give concerning their players. So, as you all know, the WNBA has been under heavy scrutiny or a lot of controversy this year in particular with the drafting of Caitlin Clark and all of her so-called newfound fans, or as I should say, stans. And they literally have been putting this league and the other players, mainly the black players, of course, through the ringer this season because of all of their antics that everyone is aware of. But for some odd reason, it seems that the WNBA managed to turn a blind eye to it, and that's where this statement comes into play. So they put out this statement saying the WNBA is a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. While we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, and anyone affiliated with the league. League security is actively monitoring threat-related activity and will work directly with teams and arenas to take appropriate measures to include involving law enforcement as necessary. While this is a decent statement coming from the WNBA, it's coming way too late. And by that I mean this statement should have gone out there the second that Caitlin Clark got drafted into the WNBA, because that's where all of the antics began. Really, it all began over a year ago when it was the whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark situation when they were in college playing against each other. That's really where it started. And then knowing that both of them would get drafted into the WNBA the following year, that's where it carried over to, and it's been like that ever since. I don't think I can go a day on X when it comes to Caitlin Clark and the WNBA and not see some of the most ridiculous, asinine, and absurd comments made about these other black players, to the point where it has gone even beyond the stuff that they say about Angel Reese. Now, y'all know that I did a video recently talking about how they photoshopped a picture of Dejanay Carrington's face onto George Floyd's body, and then photoshopped a picture of Caitlin Clark's face and put it on Derek Chauvin in what did become George Floyd's final moments, unfortunately, on this earth. And we know how many of them feel about George Floyd. Many of them who claim to be Caitlin Clark fans happen to be fans of Derek Chauvin, so they literally are telling you right there about their anti-blackness, and you can't tell them that they're wrong. Like, they still believe that Derek Chauvin should be a free man and that George Floyd was completely in the wrong. But this other comment came up recently, and I think this is why the WNBA finally decided to say something, even though they should have been said something. So this is a comment or an email, a screenshot of an email that was sent to Dejanay Carrington. As you can see, this is on her Instagram story, and she posted it up. And I had to scratch out the extremely vulgar language, but I'll fill in the blanks for you without saying what the words are. So someone emailed this to Dejanay Carrington under the name of NA, and the subject line said worthless N-word B-word. So that's why I scratched out the second part and left worthless. Then they came back and said, I hope someone R-words you and beheads you. I'll put it like that. That's literally what, in so many words, what the person was saying. And then she wrote in a caption, can't make this ish up. Sent to my email, y'all need Jesus for real. That's what somebody sent to her email. And she screenshotted it and put it up onto her Instagram story. That's how crazy it's gotten. And the reason why they sent her this is because they were playing against the Indiana Fever, which of course you know Caitlin Clark is on, and it's like a thing of they cannot do anything with Caitlin Clark, meaning they don't want her to get fouled. They don't want her to be have any kind of physical contact from another player. Apparently, when they were playing, Dejanay Carrington apparently accidentally hit her in the eye or something like that, and they were upset because the refs didn't call it, her coach didn't do anything, and all types of stuff like that. And ever since then, Dejanay Carrington has been met with so many threats and so many anti-black narratives and vulgar language towards her. You saw proof of it right there from that screenshot that I just showed you. So they're literally showing you right now who they are. This is who these so-called Caitlin Clark fans are. I was watching a live that Kid Gravity did the other day, where they played a video where one of the people who plays, I'm not sure who she is, but she plays on the same team as Dejanay Carrington, and they were having a press conference after the game, and they were saying how I've been playing all these years and I've never had to deal with anything like this ever in my life, you know, from these individuals. And I can believe that, because while I don't watch the WNBA like that, I've never seen anything like that before. Even when I did entertain it at one point in time, I never saw anything like that at all. And there has been so many white women that have come and gone throughout that league, and I've never seen it even then. But it's with Caitlin Clark that is where it's the problem. And like people say, people wouldn't have an issue with her if it wasn't for her fans. Her fans is what makes it hard for people to like her. And then when she doesn't say anything, it basically is telling us that she's okay with that. And then that makes us look at her with the side eye. But another reason a lot of people was upset about the WNBA was releasing the statement is because of the timing. In case y'all are unaware, the WNBA playoffs are going on right now. The Indiana Fever got swept. They didn't win not one game, to my knowledge. They didn't win one game in the postseason. And now they decide to release this statement. It's like y'all knew what was going on. Y'all saw the comments. Y'all saw what people were saying. Even with Angel Reese was telling y'all that she was receiving death threats. People were sending her anti-black messages, putting a whole bunch of stuff into her comment section, but you had people telling her, and by people, I'm talking about people like Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. Those two right there in particular, I'm sure it was more, but there were others that literally were telling her to just deal with it. And now you have the WNBA releasing this statement, and then you got the so-called Caitlin Clark fans saying people, well, now I hope the ratings go down because no one's going to watch it because Caitlin Clark's not in anymore. Hey, to all of you so-called Caitlin Clark fans and stans, a lot of the people who don't care for you or her are glad you're getting out of the way, because people were saying now that she's gone, we can watch the games in peace because we don't have to deal with the loud mouths or the anti-black narratives that come from her fan base. So, to be honest, those of you who think that they're doing something by not watching the games anymore, y'all think that the ratings are going to drop. The people who want to watch the games just because they want to watch the games and see and be entertained and see what these women are doing are glad you're leaving. They feel like y'all were the ones bringing down the league anyway. So you're actually doing them a favor by saying, I'm not going to watch the games anymore. Not that many of you was watching anyway. And literally, y'all just proved everybody's point when people were saying y'all weren't fans of the game anyway. Y'all just wanted to watch it just to see what was going to happen with Caitlin Clark. And when something happened, let me tell y'all something. And I've actually seen these comments. And some of you, if y'all scour the internet enough, you've probably seen them too. I've seen comments that have gone as far as people saying to call the FBI on certain players based on how they were fouling Caitlin Clark. I've seen those comments. I'm like, y'all are absolutely ridiculous. Y'all need to stop. The fragility is real, and this is supposed to be the people that are supposed to be quote unquote supreme or superior, and y'all carrying on like this, your ancestors would be so disappointed in you. Like, it's gotten to that point. I could not believe some of the comments that I was seeing. What was the FBI going to do? What were they going to do? It got that far. I promise you it did. If you scour enough or just type in like certain keywords on X in particular, you'll probably find them. And those people were so serious. They were not joking. They were dead ass serious saying that. And they meant it. I wouldn't be surprised if they did call them or something like that. I'm like, why are you calling one of the highest forms of government agency over women's basketball? Like, really? And then even some of them were saying, oh, Caitlin's being treated bad because of her race. I'm like, you do realize Caitlin Clark is not the only white woman playing out there. You do realize that, right? Or they're trying to say, oh, she's being treated this way because she's white, or they're trying to do the whole anti-white thing. I mean, they're trying to pull everything out of that hat or throwing anything up against that wall to see what sticks. And they sound absolutely ridiculous each and every time they do it. But, hey, the WNBA, this was a weak statement. Indiana Fever, they've been eliminated. Better luck next season. And to her so-called fans, y'all are absolutely like the scum of the earth. I do hope you know that. And you saying that I'm gonna stop watching, I don't think that's gonna hurt the league. I really don't think that's gonna hurt them. Realize every time they try to do some kind of a boycott because their feelings are hurt, none of it ever works. They tried it with Bud Light, that didn't work. They do it with Disney every chance they get, but it's like y'all are really, really kicking yourselves in the ass with that one because you're trying to go up against a conglomerate and you're not winning, to the point where y'all have to latch on to has-beens in order to see if there's some kind of a win that you can get. And a lot of times that doesn't even work. The same thing is going to apply here. Just stop.